Hello, everyone. It just seems like every single day there's something new. Every day, every day. And our creator is endlessly creative. So there's something new every single day. Every day when we wake up every morning, now there seems to be something new going on that's very concerning, very dangerous for America. Very dangerous for you personally. Could be extremely dangerous for us. Extremely. And we're in a vulnerable position right now. We're right between presidents. Or right between presidents. And there's no guarantee that either the Trump administration will endure or that Biden will take over successfully. We don't know. We don't know what's going to happen in the White House. But here's what's happening in the news. It seems like I bring you dire news every single day now, and it just seems like not my fault, but I'm sorry about this. Apparently, a nuclear scientist in Iran has been assassinated. He was assassinated, and we don't know by who. It could have been by his own government. Could have been by his own government. Could have been staged thing. Staged thing. Coming up with an excuse. Could have been the government of Iran coming up with an excuse, because government of Iran, they try any sneaky, underhanded, dirty thing. The government of Iran, they do anything. They do anything for a chance to attack the West. Anything. They justify anything in their hatred. In their hatred. So what happened? This nuclear scientist in Iran was assassinated, and the government of Iran immediately accused Israel. Whether that was justified or not, they immediately accused Israel. And then right after they accused Israel, they swore revenge. So now Israel and Iran could be going to war. And just think about this scenario, okay? Just think about the scenario just for 1 second, okay? I don't remember if it's a 20 or 30-year pact. I think it's a 30-year pact that China has signed with Iran. They have a 30-year pact, or maybe it's a 20-year pact, and they agreed to come to each other's aid in any war, even if the other ally initiated that war. They promised to come to each other's aid. So China could jump in on the side of Iran, send troops, and they would invade Israel. They would invade Israel. I'll tell you what Chinese communist government would do if they invaded Israel. First thing they do, they bulldoze the Wailing Wall. They'd destroy the Temple on the Mount. And it's not a temple. It's a mosque. It's a mosque, but I think they call it Temple on the Mount. I'm not sure. It's a mosque. They destroy that, and they take the Dead Sea Scrolls and throw them in a big bonfire. They would destroy every single ancient relic, religious or not, in the whole nation of Israel. Whatever they could destroy, they would destroy the Chinese. Why? Because they hate religion. All religion, any religion, especially the big three. So they would destroy everything and anything, subjugate the Israeli people. And I know I was harshly critical of Israel by not saying they deserve to be invaded and destroyed and have all of their artifacts destroyed and all of their religious monuments destroyed and their whole country devastated and shoveled under. So I never said that. What'll happen? I'll tell you what'll happen. America, once again, will come to Israel's rescue. America will come to Israel's aid. And then America and China will be at war. See how that works? See how that happens? Pretty underhanded, isn't it? pretty underhanded, pretty sneaky way to get America embroiled in warfare with China. And then, of course, Russia would jump in on the side of China. All the allies would jump in on the side of America. And we'd have a new world war. A new world war, this one involving a powerful China, which is a new power, which would make, and nuclear weapons involved, which would make it absolutely devastating to every city on Earth. This is terrible. This is terrible. How could we have allowed this to happen on our watch? How could we have allowed Iran to bring the whole world down? How could we have done it? How could we have allowed Iran to make an excuse for total warfare, make an excuse to devastate the people of their country, the people of our country, the people of China? And it's a very sad thing to say, and it doesn't sound nice, but people of China, they're treated just like cannon fodder. They are. They're just cannon fodder. In fact, that's the way Chinese think about people. They're cannon fodder. They shovel them under so they can go to war, so they can conquer, so they can grab some more countries for their glorious cause. They justify anything in the name of the glorious cause of communism. If you ever read the Communist Manifesto, you'll see. And so this glorious cause of communism, destroying all religion, it's almost like a religious crusade in itself. I mean, communism is kind of a religion, even though it's an atheistic religion. It's kind of a religion because people believe in the state religiously. What does the Biden-Harris team say about this? What is their response? What is their response to this new crisis? Well, I'm not sure, but I do know the way the candidates responded during the debate. I still remember the debate very well. During the debates, Biden came out swinging against China. And we know that even though he's lacking in subtlety, which is not a good thing, we know that if it came down to war, he would fight as hard as he could for America. We know he would. We know he would come out swinging for America. And he might strike out, which is very likely since he has very little aptitude as far as military skill. But he would come out swinging for America. We know he would fight as hard as he could. He might fail, but he'll try. They say Biden's a good man. There was a Republican that said he was a good man, and maybe so. Maybe he is a good man. A good man full of errors. Good man full of errors, but a good man nonetheless. But what about Kamala? What about Kamala? I tried to ascertain Kamala Harris's level of loyalty to America. I looked it up. There wasn't much. There wasn't much about her loyalty. I saw her swearing her oath of office for her senatorial seat. And she was pretty jokey through the whole thing. She didn't take it real seriously. She was just all smiles, you know, a typical politician. All smiles, and they were all, Biden and her were all looking up into the air, somebody on a balcony, and they were just joking around, and they were taking their pictures, and she said "I do" to the oath of office, to her sworn to protect and uphold and defend the Constitution of the United States. And she swore on the family Bible, which is apparently her husband's Bible, which is a Jewish Bible. And, of course, Kamala is a Baptist, or claims to be a Baptist. And you kind of gotta wonder how much of Kamala Harris saying she's a Baptist is just political expediency because it looks good and it gets her more votes. There are politicians like that. There are politicians that go to church and swear loyalty to the Christians because the majority of this country is Christian. They swear loyalty to the Christians for political expediency. So it is possible. I'm not saying it's true, but it is possible Kamala Harris is not a Christian. It is possible she's an atheist. It is possible. I don't think she's a Hindu by any stretch of the imagination, and I'm about to tell you why. But I think that she may be an atheist, and that she adopted Christianity to get votes. Here's why. Well, not only does her voting record show that she's basically a dyed-in-the-wool communist, and communists are totally opposed to religion, which would make sense. There aren't that many religious communists. And if they are, they really aren't true communists because communism comes out swinging against religion. So we don't know if she just attends church to look good. It's a Baptist church. I guess it's African American, and just to look good, she shows up. Every Sunday and professes to be Christian. I have no doubt that her husband is a devout Jew. I don't know anything about her husband. But, and there are some atheist Jews as well. But I don't think, if they have a family Bible, I think he's a sincere Jew, but I doubt that she is a sincere Baptist Christian. I doubt it. I think she may be an atheist. The thing about Brett Kavanaugh, I saw the footage. Brett Kavanaugh, she was interviewing Brett Kavanaugh and for the hearings for his instatement as Supreme Court Justice. And she was saying that the Supreme Court said that the Constitution also upholds rights that aren't enumerated, which is great. That sounds great, right? I mean, who wouldn't want more rights, right? Then this is totally unrelated to Brett Kavanaugh. Totally unrelated to Brett Kavanaugh and totally unrelated to enumerated rights. She points at Brett Kavanaugh's pocket, says, that means it's not written down in that book you carry around in your pocket. And people were really mad at her. They were so mad. They were pissed. They were so pissed off that she... I don't know. I don't know, Kamala. I don't know. I just don't know. That just doesn't sound good. It doesn't sound good, and doesn't sound worthy of you. It doesn't sound right. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. I don't like hearing that book not in that book you carry in your pocket. I don't like that. I don't like that. And she's pretended since then to be all full of concern for the Constitution and upholding the Constitution. But that moment seemed a bit revealing. Obviously, she knows the Constitution very well. She was a judge and I think a lawyer before that. But she knows the Constitution, but does she care about it and does she believe in it? Is it just that book in Brett Kavanaugh's pocket? Is that all it is to her? Just a book. We don't know. We don't know. She's a complete unknown to us, but it doesn't look good. It's not Biden. It's not Biden well for Kamala Harris. Here's another thing. I was afraid to even bring this up. I was afraid. I was afraid of what my viewers might think. I was afraid to call her out. Because, as you know, Kamala Harris is a person of color, which I find very, very offensive. I think they're insulting actual people of color by calling them persons of color. It's just so degrading. I mean, it's like, it reminds me of that word, I'm not going to say the word, color ed. Color ed. I'm not going to say the word. It used to be very popular word. Very popular word. It was used by the social elites, and it was used in certain liberal circles. You know, even communists used it, and everyone thought that word was great, and then fell into disrepute because it began to be used by racist people, and then it wasn't cool anymore. So then people stopped using that word, and then it became a bad word. That seems to have happened with black also, and even African American. It's happened. So why am I saying that? Okay, so person of color is offensive to me. I was just explaining why, but I don't like using the word color. I don't like it. I prefer minorities. It sounds nicer. I prefer minorities. And you can add racial minorities to make it more salient. I was afraid to take on Kamala Harris. I was afraid to even mention this because she is a racial minority, and I don't want to call attention to her race, and I don't want to call attention to her nationality, and I don't want to single her out just because of her race or her nationality. However, this is so serious and it's so grave that I felt that in this case it was justified, that I should because it's justified in this case that I should call attention to her national origins. Okay. India was invaded by China. They were invaded. There's no question about that. I know that both sides blamed each other and that there was a lot of finger pointing going on, but there's no doubt in our minds left that China's been grabbing land all along the border. We know what they want. They want land. China invaded India. And when I heard that China had invaded India, I just about lost my mind. I almost lost my marbles. And I'm not even Indian. I'm not even an Indian person. I'm not even Indian, and I almost lost my mind hearing that China had invaded India. Thought this is the beginning of World War III. And what did Kamala Harris say? Why is this important? Because Kamala Harris is half Indian. What did Kamala Harris have to say about China? Zero. Zilch. Nada. And the whole time that Pence was talking about China, Kamala Harris was listening, and she was smiling, and she was turning her head. She kept shaking her head, no. Shaking her head, no. Shaking her head, no. She doesn't agree with any of that. She loves China. She loves China. And it is possible, as I've mentioned in other videos, that China may have bought her loyalty. Oh yeah, they could have bought her loyalty to the tune of millions of dollars. It just put up a front and made it look like a business proposition. It's something she could actually be prosecuted for. That's against the law, to accept bribes from a foreign nation. Fortunately, even though Biden received $750 million from China, he wasn't swayed by the money. He managed to stay loyal to America, or at least we think he is. He's put up a front where, an appearance where we believe that he's loyal to America. And I have no doubt that he is. Maybe he is willing to accept money that he's not swayed by, that he just takes the money when it's offered and then doesn't give anything back. Maybe his loyalties really lie with America, despite the money. But what about Kamala? What about Kamala? She had not one word to say about China. Now you can see why there are millions and millions upon millions of Indians who love Trump. Oh yeah, they love Trump in India. The majority, like maybe 80% of the population, they love Trump. They love Trump and they love Modi. And now you can see why they love Trump and love Modi. Who's got their backs? Kamala or Trump? And you think about this. Think about this. Where do Kamala's loyalties lie? She said that she is very loyal, extremely loyal. She never said who she was loyal to. She never said who. She never said the U.S. citizens or the citizens of the United States of America, or to the United States of America, or to the Constitution even. She didn't say any of that. She just said she was loyal. She didn't say to who, which was very sneaky of her. And I wasn't able to find anything, any speech or anything where she was declaring her loyalty to the U.S. I wasn't able to find it. Maybe it's out there, but I wasn't able to find it. If you can find it, go ahead and post it in the comments. And check out the links in the description. There's a few. You can see some of the videos for yourself of Kamala. Here's the thing. And I know some of you aren't going to like this. I know some of you aren't going to like this, but Kamala is an Indian. Okay, and an American. She's an Indian. India was invaded by China. Kamala had nothing to say about China. Where is Kamala's loyalty to India? Where is it? Where is Kamala's loyalty to India? Where is it? You don't know this, but like Indians, they call India the motherland. They call it the motherland. Where is Kamala's loyalty to the motherland? If she has no loyalty to the nation that is her place of origin, or at least one of her places of origin. Her father comes from Jamaica, but one of her places of origin, and apparently she was very close to her mother, to her uncle, to her aunt. She's very close, very, very close to her Indian family. Where's her loyalty to her family back in India? Where is her loyalty to the motherland? And if she's not loyal to India, to her origins, to her roots, which she was one of her selling points, one of the reasons people elected her was because she was a minority in this country, because supposedly she was a person of color, and because she was an Indian American. If she's not loyal to her roots at all, she's not loyal to India. She's loyal to India's enemy, or to India's enemies, we should put it that way, India's enemies. There's Russia, there's Pakistan, there's China, there's even Iran, which is a little farther away, but it's still nearby. Where is her loyalty to the motherland? And if she's not loyal to India, which is her roots, and the reason why she's a person of color, then what in the world do you think she's going to do as the President of the United States? Where's her loyalty to the U.S.? Think about that. Do you really want someone like that who's not so disloyal to her roots, to her motherland, to her mother country? Do you want someone like that as your president? Just think about that, and think about whether you want someone to be your president who really is an atheist, possibly a communist, has no real true religion, and is willing to put on a charade and pretend to be of a certain religion just to get votes and just to get ahead and just to get in that office by any means necessary and then do whatever. Do you want someone like that as your president? Would Bernie Sanders, a dyed-in-the-wool socialist, would he want her as his president? I don't think so. I don't think so. Now maybe Kamala has plans, grand designs for India that we know nothing about. Maybe her shining ideal, her goal on a hilltop, a golden hilltop. It's a golden hilltop. This golden hilltop is communism. And basically the people of India, who worship goddess, by the way, can be re-educated, brainwashed, have their religion shoveled under, all their temples and monuments shoveled under and destroyed and bulldozed, basically. All in support of the glorious cause. And wouldn't communism be so much better? Wouldn't communism be so much better for the Indian people? Wouldn't they be so much happier as communists? But first, we have to kill 800 million people. We've just failed to mention that, but just don't look behind the curtain. Don't look at the woman standing behind the curtain. Let's look over here. Look over here at this diversity juggernaut. Just saying. I know that sounded horribly racist to you, and diversity juggernaut, and like sounded racist to you, and it sounded racist calling attention to Kamala Harris's nationality, but I felt that it was so dire that the circumstances warranted it. Now, what else is in the news? What else is going on? I saw Trump on TV the other day. I only saw him for like 5 seconds. You know how they show those sound bites of Trump. You don't see it in context. He said, "I am the President of the United States, and I will never concede the presidency." And he sounded just totally vehement. Totally vehement about it. He will never, ever concede the presidency. It's really gotten to the point where we really are on the verge of total warfare in this country. This country, like I said, is divided down the middle, and our ideological differences are great enough to actually split this country in two. And this was a plan long ago to destroy and defeat America. To destroy and defeat America. It's happening right now, folks. This country's divided. Our youth have been successfully brainwashed. They've been brainwashed into hating moderates or moderation in any way, shape, or form. To the Greeks, moderation was a virtue. To Americans, everybody's got to go to extremes. Everyone's got to be crazy. Crazy. And willing to fight to the death for their views. 40% of our youth have been indoctrinated into communism. And 30% are very staunch conservatives. And then there's a middle, and another 40% in the middle, and they sort of get ignored. They sort of get pushed to one side. And what we're going to have to pick sides, guys. We're going to have to pick sides. We're going to have to decide whether we want to be underneath an Emperor Trump or whether we want to be under communism. We have to decide. And China may decide, well, we can't have warfare in America, and they may intervene if there's a civil war. They may decide, wherever Emperor Trump is, they may decide to invade his country. In other words, Biden will give them a little base here in the north. And then they will use that base in the north to launch offensives against the south. That could happen. Another thing that could happen is that there's a smooth transition of power. Biden gets into office. And then, during the transition, Iran attacks Israel. China attacks Israel. America attacks China, and then we're in a world war right during the transition when we're most vulnerable. And who knows what Trump's going to do during the transition. He's a selfish kind of guy. He's struck me in the past as selfish. I think he wouldn't. He would just be an opportunist and take advantage of us being at war to either declare and cement his powers and not allow the transition to take place, or he could use the toss-up, the army being abroad, away from our shores, to raise an army of his own and seize power. It is possible. He could raise an army of up to 22 million. Yeah, he could have an army of 22 million people. That figured that out. That's 11 times more. Well, maybe. Okay, it's 10 times more. It's 10 times more than our U.S. military. Not good. Not a good situation at all. Trump's words make me pretty afraid. Makes me afraid for the next couple of months. We just have to hang tight, hope for the best. Hope the Chinese are better people than we had ever hoped they were. And I don't think Kamala is a better person than we hoped for. But Biden, hopefully, is a better person than we had hoped for. Everyone pray for Biden's health. Everyone pray. Everyone pray for Biden's health, for his well-being. Because the future of our nation may depend on him just staying alive and staying in office. Hope that Pelosi doesn't pass any laws tossing someone out of office for example, in a mental disability. Let's hope Biden stays in there, that Kamala never becomes president, ever. I'm Sarah Jane Althawolf signing off. It's just so scary what's happening in this country right now. So it's so scary. All these wonderful people, all the wonderful things they're doing for people, for animals, for the environment, all of it come to a grinding to a screeching halt. And the drums of war may sound in this nation once again.